Streamline SOC operations by automating recurring security tasks, like an on-call schedule, with Microsoft List plus Power Automate. This process auto-updates schedules and then sends a notification email to team members. This automation process can streamline other tasks that assigned in a rotation, including work assignments related to health checks, schedule rule tuning, threat intel reviews and presentations, metrics reporting, backup validation, alert testing, and other team or cross-team coordination. First, we'll create a new list in Microsoft Lists. Give your list a title. Click Create, then add columns. Once all columns are created, we will add a new item. Complete the fields. We will start on the next Monday, so we'll select April 14th for this example. Then we'll add the message that we want to include in the emails. Click Save. We have 27 more items to add, so we will edit in grid view since this is a faster way to input. In this example, we are rotating duties between 4 analysts: John, Bob, Sue, and Deb. There will be 28 days between each of these items' occurrence. For example, John week 1 day 1 will happen on April 14th, and it will repeat in 28 days, which would be May 12th. The next date column is the designated day that this whole schedule will be updated with future dates. The future dates will be 28 days from the current set date. Continue filling in the fields. Once the whole 28-day schedule is complete, double-check everything to make sure there are no misspellings or errors in dates. Now we need to create one more list. Just like the first list, we will give it a name and add columns. The first list we created is the schedule that will auto-update and assign an analyst to their on-call duty date. This new list will be where Power Automate will look for the item with today's date, and then send that item's information in an email to the team. After you have finished creating the columns in the second list, we are finished with the lists. Power Automate will be adding items to this second list automatically. Now we'll go over to Power Automate and make a new automatic cloud flow. Let's skip this for now. Give your flow a title. Click Add a Trigger and search Schedule. Select Recurrence. Enter 28 days for the interval since we want this flow to trigger every 28 days. Change the name of the trigger if you'd like. Select your time zone. Enter the date and time you'd like this automation to start. Next, we'll add an action by clicking the plus sign and search Initialize Variable and select. Name the variable. Then rename the action. Change the data type to string. Click inside the value field and then select function. We are going to input a formula for today's date. Search substring. Select substring from the options. Leave the cursor inside the parentheses and type UTC. Select utcNow, then type 0, 10. Then click Add. This will only return the 4-digit year, 2-digit month, and 2-digit day. Click Save. Now click the plus sign to add an action and search Get Items. Plural. For the site address, look at the address bar of your browser in one of the Microsoft List tabs. Select from the start of the URL all the way to the top-level domain of your email address. Paste the site address in the text box and select Use Site Address as a custom value. Select List Name drop-down menu. After your lists populate, click the On-Call Schedule list. In Advanced Parameters, check the Filter Query box, then type ID is greater than 0. For some reason, Power Automate throws an error if you try to run without a filter. Change the action name and then save. After Get Templates, click the plus sign and search the next action. Set Variable. Click Set Variable. Change the name of the action and then select the variable you initialized 2 steps earlier. Place the cursor inside the value text box and click the function. Select Dynamic Content. Look to the right of Get Templates and click See More. Scroll down to Next Date. Select Next Date and then click Add. This will create a for each loop. Save your flow. Rename the for each loop. After Set Current Template Next Date and inside the loop, click the plus sign. Search Condition and add a condition action. Rename the condition and then we will choose a value for the condition expression. Select Function, then Dynamic Content, and add the variable. Change the operator to Contains, and then add the formula for today. Since the Next Date field is set to be today's date, this condition is evaluating whether or not the date in Next Date field of our monthly schedule is today's date. In other words, it's determining, is this the day we're supposed to update the schedule? Save changes. Under True, click the plus sign to add an action. Search Create Item and add Create Item action. Change the name of the action. Paste the same URL into the site address text box and select Enter Custom Value. Then from the drop-down list, choose the Daily On-Call Email Notifications list. Now we're going to correlate the fields from the schedule list over to the email list. Check the boxes for Title, Analyst, On-Call Date, and On-Call Description. In each of the field boxes, click Function and then Dynamic Content. Click See More and add the correlating field with the same name. Save. Under Create Item, click the plus sign to add the last action for this flow. Search and select Update Item Action. Change the name of the action. Then paste the same URL into the site address text box as a custom value. This time, we will select the monthly on-call schedule template since that is the list being updated. We will need to make sure we select the correct ID here so the right list is updated. Scroll down to Get Templates, click ID, and then Add. In Advanced Parameters, select Next Date. In the Next Date text box, click Function. We are going to add a formula that will add 28 days of the date currently in the field. Search addDays and select the addDays function. With your cursor inside the parentheses, type items and select items. In single quotes inside the items parentheses, type looptemplates. Add a question mark outside of the items parentheses followed by angle brackets, single quotes, and then type next date. After the closing angle bracket, add a comma and type int for integer. Select int. Add an open parenthesis. Type items. Inside the items parentheses, type single quote loop templates single quote. After the closing parenthesis for items, add a question mark. Open bracket. Single quote, interval, single quote. Click Add. I will add the formula to the video description below. Next, we will do the same for the on-call date column. Click Function. Enter the same formula. addDays. Items. Open parenthesis, single quote, loop templates. After the closing parenthesis, question mark. Open bracket. On-call date. Don't forget the single quotes. Comma. Int for integer. Open parenthesis, items. Single quote, loop templates, single quote. After the closing parenthesis, a question mark, angle bracket. Single quote, interval, single quote. Click Add and then Save. This flow is ready to be tested. To do that, we will need to set this row to contain today's date. Click Test. Select Manually, Test, and Run Flow. Then go to the Flow Runs page. Let's check that each action in the flow ran successfully. Then we will check our lists. When we refresh the list, the schedule template should have updated one item to be 28 days from today. And when we refresh here, it should have created an item in our email list too. Both worked as expected. We'll revert those changes by returning the date back to the start date of the schedule. And delete the item created here. Now we create one more flow that will send emails to all the analysts notifying the team who is on call, along with their contact information. Create a new automated cloud flow. Skip. Name the flow. Click Add a Trigger, search Schedule, and select Recurrence. Rename the trigger, and this will run one time each day. Choose your time zone. Then enter the start date and time for this automation to begin. Add an action after the trigger. Search Initialize Variable. Rename the action and then name the variable. Change the data type to string. Then enter the formula for today's date for value. Substring utcNow, comma 0, comma 10. Add, then save. After initialize variable add, get items action. Change the name of the action. Grab the URL from the address bar of one of the Microsoft lists and paste it as a custom value in the site address box. Choose the daily on-call notification email list from the drop-down box. In advanced parameters, check filter query. Enter ID is greater than 0 and then save. Add a set variable action. Rename the action and then select the variable you created. In the value box, click Function. Dynamic Content. Then click on Call Date field and then Add. This will create a for each loop. Rename the loop templates. Save. Under Set Variable and inside the loop, add an action. Search condition and add condition. Rename the condition. For the condition expression, the first value will be the setCurrentDate variable. Change the operator to contains. Then enter the formula for today's date. Substring utcNow, 0, 10. Add and save. Under True, add an action. Search and select Send Email. Add your own email address to test, then format the email the way you'd like. Use dynamic fields to customize the subject line and message. Once you're satisfied with the email, test both flows. Test the monthly update flow first. Then the email notification flow. They work. Revert changes and turn flows on.